anything illegal what they say will become legal, legitimate once you pay them out. That's the story of this country.
Colombo's skyline is rapidly changing with apartment constructions that cost millions of dollars. But are they complying with planning and construction regulations? An investigation by IE has revealed severe violations in planning and construction of apartments in the Colombo district, which have become far too commonplace. Outdated legislations and policy guidelines, we discovered, are the main reason for this alarming trend. The situation has also led to corruption creeping into the system, increasing negative social impacts and safety risks to the community. We uncovered that the main reason for such violations is the unholy nexus between government officials, politicians and developers. These developers carry out large-scale constructions, especially with apartment projects, with flimsy permits from government authorities despite irregularities in plans and constructions. IE is in possession of an audit report inspecting a total of 37 apartment complexes in the Kotte Sri Jayawardhanapura area, compiled by the Urban Development Authority in 2017. According to the report, only 4 projects compiled with the planning and building regulations specified in the Kotte Development Plan. Of the remaining projects, 12 had received permits but with major deviations. 15 were progressing with valid permits but without clearances from relevant agencies such as the Central Environmental Authority and the Traffic Planning Committee. When I inquired, it was found that neither the UDA nor the Kotte Municipal Council followed up with the audit report, nor did these government bodies take any action against the developers. Meanwhile, I interviewed a small-scale property developer who shared his experience of dealing with local government officials in obtaining approvals for his previous construction projects.
We had each floor was about 3,500 square foot. We had 4 floors. So as the owner, we met all the criteria which were laid down by the Bikaram municipality. So the street line diagram was given, so we didn't violate it. We kept it another about 5 feet to the inner side. So we didn't want to take it to the front. We did the whole thing, and then when we applied for the COC, they said we had violated the COC, the street line requirement. We had a loan to be paid. We invested all what we had, but then we couldn't give it on rent by time because this COC was not given to us. So it was a terrific time we had. Finally, we paid these officers who were involved in the green light. We paid them 150,000 rupees. That was a request. When we paid the money, there was no option. Everything was right, and we got the COC. And this was one experience I had. I have faced enough experiences.
Let's take a look at a few major cases that took place recently. The residents living off Budgamua Road, Valikada, Rajagiriya are raising voices of dissent against an Indian luxury apartment project. The residents claim that the construction site has posed severe threats to their safety and welfare. They demand to know whether this is the price they have to pay in exchange for development.
We are not against development. All what we are requesting is to do that without harassing us and inconveniencing us according to the laws of the land. Due to this unplanned development and unauthorized development, we are facing severe traffic problems. We are burning unnecessary fuels heavily. We are expenditure to us and also a severe burden on the economy of the country. All the fuel is imported, so it's a real burden on the economy of the country. So what we are requesting is to stop the development, but do it according to the laws of the land and according to the plan.
Residents in Mount Lavinia are troubled due to certain apartments that have been sprouting like mushrooms next to their residences.
Now, traffic police is issuing a permit which in contravention of the building permit given by the UDA. For example, If the UDA says you can work from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 in the evening, the traffic police will give in writing that they can work till 12 midnight. These are experience with the Mount Lavinia police. You can mention more. We have had enough. I have here in documents where I have gone to the police station and asked them to help. Unfortunately, they have not been able to make a difference. They have not been able to stop the contractors working in the night. They go on till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. With all their concreting things, blocking the road, putting up boards, no entry. I can show you in photographic evidence. They have put no entry boards. And that's how they take over the area with the help of the local police. That's the first step there. Then of course they have got the support of the UDA officials who will not interfere in the matter under any circumstances for mysterious reasons, which is still to be found.
We have this issue with these apartments coming up down these roads, especially our Bacon Avenue, Hotel Road, and adjacent roads. These are by lanes which is less than 15 feet, some of them. And when that comes, really, the traffic congestion we have already with these 3 schools, namely St. Thomas's, Girls High School, Buddhist Ladies College. It's a real traffic congestion in the morning and in the afternoon when the school closes down. In an emergency, an ambulance can't reach those victims or destination. I mean, if a person is sick, and also if a fire breaks up, I mean, the fire brigade cannot reach in time, and also if a department comes, which is not going to cover the entire area. I mean, if you have a building which is in 35 to 40 purchase land, the movability of a fire brigade is not possible. In that case, we are in danger. The neighbors, because there is not enough firefighting equipment can reach that place on time. The other thing is that, like in Vellavatta, those apartments which has come so close, those people are not having enough sunlight. I mean, they can't dry up their clothes. Then what happens? No proper ventilation, non-communicable diseases.
Mount Lavinia, Dehiwala and Vellavatta are prime examples of poor construction regulations in our city. It is easy to detect obvious non-compliances such as the encroachment of road reserve by builders and inconsistent planning of fire protection passages between properties. Many buildings in Mount Lavinia do not even have proper driveway entry profiles.
I'm personally affected by this development in buildings, unauthorized buildings from developers. And I have complained many times to UDA, police and so many places, but nothing have happened. So all what I want people to know, to apply the land law. We are not against development. Please don't make Sri Lanka like Dhaka in Bangladesh. Plan it and do it properly.
Our investigation found out several major building design planning and approval flaws in Sri Lanka. There is no building act or regulation covering all buildings, their planning and constructions. There are numerous government agencies that have imposed various regulations looking after their own backyards. However, even those regulations are violated. There is no unified building classification system based on scale and usage type of buildings. There is no building compliance code to specify design standards or a standard for material quality. There is no administrative system to audit whether developers have followed the existing regulations for their already approved developments. There is no transparent approval process to minimize corrupt practices of officers and politicians. Meanwhile, in our neighboring country last month, several luxury apartment complexes in Kerala were demolished in a controlled explosion following a court order due to violation of regulations. Decisions on development activities in Sri Lanka are made at Pradeshya Sabhas, urban, municipal and provincial councils and ministries. In the above setup, there are overlaps of authority, conflicts of instructions, contradictory regulations and compliance loopholes supported by corruption and bribery. However, in case of an emergency such as a fire or a collapse, which authority will accept responsibility? The question remains.
plan එක අසං කරනකොට ගොඩක් කරන මේ කවුරුරි බලධාරී මිනිස්සු මේ පොඩක් තියාගෙන මිනිස්සු රාස්තියාදකල කීයකට පගා ගහන එකනේ කරන්නේ. රාජ්‍ය ආන්තරණයේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු ගොඩක් වෙලාවට රටේ ඩෙවලොප්මන්ට් ගැනවත් රටේ ටැක්ස් පේයර්ස් ගැනවත් හිතන්නේ නැහැ.